Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rebel Racing Network. I'm Eddie, and you're watching the Send It Cup Series round of 12 cutoff race to set the field for the round of 8. And we are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and 1.5 mile track, best oval track on the service. Fight me. We're getting ready to cut this field down from 12 down to 8. Only 3 races left to go in this season. It has been a fantastic season in the next gen car. Started off a little nervous, but we are really firing on all cylinders and syllables. So tonight, ready to roll. 167 laps here. It's going to be a long one, but man, am I ready to get into it. We've got about 10 seconds before we start gridding up. And let's go ahead and look at the standings and look and see where everybody is. Jonah Colbert been leading the way for a long time, and you see the 8th spot right there with Stephen Mcdonald trying to hang on to that cutoff, and a couple guys trying to be in a must-win situation. If you're down there in 11th and 12th, you got to pretty much win to get in this thing. So points are pretty kind of spread out outside of top 8 anyway. So Lokovitz tonight, pretty close. Going to need some help. Only 20 drivers in the field tonight, so going to need some help. Easiest way, just go out there and get a win, and that'll be the best way to do it. Let's go ahead and bring up the grid as we are getting ready to get this thing rolling. Garrett Kinder with your Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner with 31.214. Jonathan Cofield, last night's winner in the ARCA Series. Been on a tear out there in the ARCA Series. Starting outside front row, Chuck Phelps. Starting third. Starting fourth, Daniel D. Cunningham. Starting fifth, Jonah Colbert. Starting sixth, Steve Loving. Seventh, Josh Lokovitz. Eighth, Eric Burkhalter. Ninth, Aaron Adcock. 10th, Brandon Wallace. 11th, William Griffith. 12th, Jason Lottridge. 13th, Christopher Heiner. 14th, Jason Warren. 15th, Mike Caustic. 16th, Jamie Mullins. 17th, Steve McDonald. 18th, Greg Froenick. 19th, Matt Clement. 20th, Cameron Combs. So pretty good field. A lot of strong contenders tonight. But if you're in the playoffs on the outside of looking in of 8th place, you are going to really want to get a win tonight. So you're going to see folks like Aaron Adcock, Brandon Wallace, Josh Lokovitz can kind of, I think he's pretty close. I don't know if we can check and see if Steve McDonald is in the race. So if something happens to Steve, Josh actually has a win. So I don't know if that'll push him into the playoffs or not. But I don't think it will. I don't think he's won in this round. But all those guys, all the way from Josh Lokovitz, Brandon Wallace, Aaron Adcock, William Griffith, all those guys need a win tonight. So we're going to see a lot of action, a lot of guys taking some chances they wouldn't normally take. But you got to be there at the end. That's the most important part. No fast repair. Plenty of sets of tires usually in this series, about 5 or 6. But it's a long race, so going to need to take care of them. Garrett Kinder going to lead us down to the green flag in that number 13 Kinder Farm and Ranch Ford Mustang. Jonathan Cofield in that Chevy on the outside. Pace car getting ready to pull off, and we are going to get this thing rolling. Pace car is off, green flag in hand, and green flag is out. 167 laps. Who is going to transfer into the round of 8 as we get ready to crown our Cup champion? So far, so good for Garrett Kinder as he drives down into turn 1, immediately jumping up on the high line. Interesting. Atlanta, one of the best tracks right now. Oh, Chuck Pegleg Phelps gets a little bit loose, but able to hang on to it. We're going to see a lot of that tonight as the car is going to be extremely loose. Maybe why you see so many guys up at the top lane. Looks like a lot of guys are having to chase it. I didn't really talk to anybody before race, but it looks like you don't want to be on the bottom side early as the tires are really cold. We'll see if they migrate down to the bottom or if they really work that top side. To Atlanta, you can make that top side work. It's a really, really fun racetrack as, man, everybody's spread out. Oh, somebody, Eric Burkhalter, getting loose as well. It's the same spot that happened to Chuck, and boy, they are coming fast. Oh my goodness, who was that? Jason Warren flying up through there. It makes a little contact with the 99. We'll go back up front though, as Garrett Kinder still leading the way, but Jonah Colbert in that 31 race graphics machine. Looking down to the inside, Cofield takes over that second spot. And now he's looking down to the inside of Garrett Kinder, and looks like Daniel Cunningham following along. And Jonah, without much issue at all, makes that bottom side work and able to take the lead. Garrett Kinder going to fight back though on the outside. See the run that you get off the top side. Huge speed difference as they go down into turn 3. And they are still side by side for the lead. That top side looks like it is really, really fast. 1 and 2, if you can get down to the bottom, seems to be the better line. But just see how rip-roaring that top side is as Garrett Kinder comes firing back. And they are still battling for the lead. Cofield going to jump down to the inside and try to make that work along with Jonah. As, Cofield's going to get loose. Jonathan Cofield goes through the grass. He's able to save it. Does a couple hops, 2 hops this time, and jumps right back up on the track. Saves it. What a save. Guys have been hanging on to these things. They are definitely on edge, as we've already seen 2 or 3 drivers almost lose it. So Cofield going to have a lot of work to do, as he's going to drop all the way back to 10th spot. But battle for the lead is kind of settled, as Garrett Kinder had to give up that lead. And Jonah Colbert has now set sail a little bit on this top group, which is no surprise. If you've been watching all season long, Jonah has obviously been the dominant driver, as he is. He's won way more races than anybody else. Garrett Kinder still working that top side. It's hard to say what happened. If Jonah is just knows something that somebody else doesn't know, or if he's burning up his tires. It's hard to say. We see Garrett Kinder jump down to the bottom. We'll listen in on Garrett Kinder, see what the throttle inputs are like. Definitely working that throttle, not able to get on it as much as he'd like. Able to get a good run there on Jonah. But you can definitely tell it's loose. It is very, very sketchy. Looks like it's a little tight on landing. Then once you get on the throttle, it definitely loosens up. So you're going to see guys all over the place tonight, most likely. But so far, so good for Jonah Colbert, Garrett Kinder, and Steve Loving sitting right behind them, trying to hunt these guys down. That's what I love about Atlanta, is I love the different lines. Ever since iRacing added the top side, Josh Lokovitz's going to go into the wall, and we got a big wreck here on the back straightaway with Cofield, William Griffith, Josh Lokovitz, who's sitting in 9th place in points, and oh my gosh, the guy he's fighting, who was that? Was that Steve Mcdonald? And he's sitting there on the track, and Steve Mcdonald just plows into the back of him. He has got motor damage, and Steve Mcdonald, sitting in 8th place in the points, has a disaster, as that is not what he needed. And of course, lucky for him, he did hit the one he's fighting for 8th place. But unfortunately, Steve's night may be done. You see that smoke coming out of that car. No fast repair. So I don't know if they're going to be able to repair that or not, as he has slid way through his pit stall. Josh Lokovitz, though, the front end of that car is all demolished. So guys down here in the bottom of the 8th and 9th place in the points having issues early as Josh Lokovitz gets loose. Let's go back and see what happened there. Go back and see if we can find the point of, you saw right in front of Jason Warren there. Try to get on. He's up on that high line trying to get around the 54. Daniel Cunningham, see him get loose, and then he tries to catch it, overcorrects right into the wall, right into Aaron Adcock and Jonathan Cofield. William Griffith going to get a little piece of that, and then we'll go on board with Steve Mcdonald and see what he saw, because it definitely didn't seem like he could see. He's got the one of Christopher Heiner right in front of him, and the last second, Heiner moves, and poor Steve Mcdonald just could not see what was going on. As you can see, you can't really see where the wreck is, and last second, just not able to move out of the way. And big damage there to that 68 machine. So already some guys having trouble, especially guys near that cutoff line. As you go to we go back to the Cup standings and see that 68 sitting there in 8th place. He is right there on the bubble. Lucky for him, though, Josh Lokovitz right behind him. So Brandon Wallace can make up a little bit of points, but with only 20 drivers, not going to be able to make up enough points to catch either one of those. So, you know, at this point, if you're sitting 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, you just need to win. That's what you got to have. And all 9th, 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th all involved in that incident. Only person that wasn't involved is the 99 of Brandon Wallace. His car, that Sunoco 99 machine, looks good. We check in on Aaron Adcock, who's sitting on pit road. See if we can find a better camera. He's got some damage. He's still sitting on pit road. Let's see. Jonathan Cofield is back on track. But you can definitely see a little bit of damage to that right front. Hood is kind of scooched a little bit. You see there at the top, if you want to follow along, the green is your playoff drivers, so you can kind of keep track of where everybody is there with that ticker. The point system works a little bit different than every other series, so I probably should have got clarification on it, but it doesn't seem like the points get reset every round. It seems like they just add 100 points to the total that you already have, so they carry forward. And obviously, as you get down to the round of 4, it will not carry over. Whoever finishes ahead of each other will be the winner, the champion. But already seeing guys work that top side, usually that's something that you don't really see early on, but it seems like the car is just so loose, as we saw Lokovitz just get loose trying to push the throttle down a little bit more. Seems like the car is really, really loose. And so running the top side helps keep the car in the track, as if you try to turn down to the bottom, get on the throttle, and may want to come around. So it looks like a lot of guys are doing it for safety reasons, not necessarily speed, although we've seen Garrett Kinder make that top side work and hang on to the lead. Just seems like you're on the ragged edge, but you know, I love to see that. I'm actually really, really jealous that I'm not out there on track, as man, this car looks like it's a lot of fun. Kevin Kinder, good to see you, checking in. Showing his support for the 13. He's sitting in 2nd place right now. Barney's got the flag in hand. And green flag is out as Jonah does get on the throttle, gets a good jump there. Catches the whole field basically sleeping, as he is gone already. A half a second, 6/10 going into turn 1 and 2. And immediately, Garrett Kinder kind of jumps up to that middle lane. But the Atlanta, all 3 lanes really work. And man, we've got a gaggle of cars back here. As you got the 48 of Jason Lottridge, Christine Auction, Camaro, down under the 12 of William Griffith, who's involved in that wreck. Got a lot of front end damage. See if that affects him much. You already see some damage back here, and Matt Clement in the Pennzoil 19 machine got a little right side damage, so some guys have already flirted with the wall a little bit too much. But definitely looks like this is a fun racetrack. All three lanes look to be competitive. battle back here with Chuck, Peg Leg Phelps, William Griffith fighting it out for 7th and 8. Christopher Heiner right behind him, Matt Clement. And you got Eric Burkhalter and Jonathan Cofield. Cofield trying to make his way back to the front. But being involved in that wreck, how much damage does he have? And it's good to see Michael Caustic in that 26. Oh, somebody's getting loose. Who is that? Oh, it looks like Christopher Heiner gets loose. And no caution, though, as he gets that thing back rolling. So we stay under green as number 1 Monster Energy Camaro gets back going. So scary moment there as he almost goes around. We can see the smoke is still there on the backstretch as leaders come through. Jonah Colbert an 8/10 lead over Garrett Kinder. As right behind them, you've got Jason Warren. Jason not raced in the Cup Series much of this season, but shows up tonight in the Velocity Motorsports Ford Mustang and has moved himself all the way up to 3rd place. So he is showing a lot of speed. Jason Warren, fantastic short track racer. This ought to play into his hands with not much throttle control that you have to use. So we'll see. Go back to the 12, starting to see him fall back a little bit. Don't think he did not pit when he got a little bit of that front end damage. It's definitely hurt him a little bit as he is falling back almost to where he started. Had made up quite a bit of positions with that 12 Queef Shifters Waffle House. Toyota is in trouble as he is falling back quick. Loving was able to get around Daniel D. Cunningham in 4th place. And the big question that I have is how will tire wear affect these cars as we're only 20 laps in? We should start to see a little bit of fall off, but some tracks we don't see that much. But Atlanta, notorious about eating tires up. So I would expect to see some guys who are being patient. Daniel Cunningham, one of those drivers in that Rowdy Energy blue and black 54 machine. Somebody I expect to see on the long run be able to make up some ground that he kind of gives up at the early part. Definitely an expert tire saver, no doubt about it. So go back 1 spot. Chuck Phelps looking inside of Jason Lautridge, and Lautridge just helped facilitate the pass. So Chuck has moved himself into 6th place. Chuck started 3rd, dropped back a little bit, saw him get loose early on, slowly working his way back up to the front. Go back up front. We got a battle for the lead as Garrett Kinder looking to the inside of Jonah Colbert. Jonah working that top side. Able to get a huge run, but 13 is still there. Jonah gets a huge run through 3 and 4. And we see this a lot at Atlanta. As the tires start to wear out, you might get always going to get dangerously close to the wall. As Garrett Kinder, he has to lift a little bit. Kinder going to get a run here back on the back straightaway. But you see this a lot at Atlanta where once it starts to get tight, especially on entry, and you try to work that bottom line, you really have to take it easy through the middle of the corner. And you'll see that top line, guys be able to hold each other off. But that time, Garrett Kinder able to take the lead as he is going to put the 15 of Cameron Combs a lap down. So new leader, Garrett Kinder, drives up to the front, takes it from Jonah. That's a strong move right there. Back to 5th, Chuck Feltz. Get to the back bumper of the 54 machine, running about a lane up. Has tracked down Daniel Cunningham here in the last laps. We look at the difference, 1/10, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. Man, I tell you what, Chuck rolling right now as the tires start to wear out. He is looking to the inside of Daniel Cunningham right now. I said Daniel Cunningham would be the one to save tires, but Chuck, man, he looks like he has done a masterful job and takes over the 4th place. Ooh, we see Jason Lottridge right back here get a little bit loose, does the 2-foot smash, straightens that car up. The tires are not going to be happy about that. That's one thing I've noticed about these next-gen cars. If you get the right rear mad at you, this car does not like that one bit. So you have to really baby it around the track for a few laps. Let's watch him and see if he's able to get that thing straightened back up. Definitely tell he's babying it. Christopher Heiner apparently has gone off track, going through the grass, comes back up on track. Tough race so far for Christopher. I've already seen him get loose a few times. Let's go back and see maybe what happened to him. Comes off turn 4 and just loses it. Man, he goes for a ride, just cutting that grass. Does a great job, though, not losing it. And he's 45-degree angle a couple times. And you see just how rough that front stretch grass is. There's bumps and all kinds of stuff, and man, he is very lucky he didn't end up with either some damage or spinning out there. Getting a little spread out now as we'll actually show the track map here. You start to see a little separation. Garrett Kinder, Jonah Colbert separating themselves from the rest of the group. Steve Loving in that 3rd place kind of leads 4 or 5 drivers, and then it's just kind of evenly separated from there on back. So we're starting to see this long green flag run sort of materialize, and guys start to make their way towards the front. As another driver that's really good at saving tires, Michael Caustic. Don't see him race too much in the Cup Series, if I remember it correctly. But I could be wrong. But I raced with him plenty of times in the Xfinity Series, and I tell you what, there is not a cleaner driver on the service. I cannot remember a time that I've seen Michael Caustic get into it with another driver, make contact, as he just doesn't do it, man. He's just a smart race car driver, probably one of the smartest ones on the track. Man, I just don't see him making a lot of crazy moves that he shouldn't make, and he definitely always seems to get rewarded for it. And see Jason Lottridge still suffering from those hot rear tires getting loose off that corner. Saw that smoke kind of bellowing out of it. And if you keep doing that over and over again, those tires just will not cool off, and you'll constantly be loose over and over again every lap. We'll actually go on board with us, see if we can catch him. Watch his wheel inputs. You hear him have to really baby the throttle, be easy on the steering wheel. One thing about these next-gen cars, they are very easy to overcorrect into the wall. So if you get loose, your natural tendency is just to turn right as much as you can to try to save that car. In this particular vehicle, it is pretty scary. As we're watching, you see him pass 4 on Jason Lottridge by Jonathan Cofield, trying to work his way back up into contention. going back up here. We got a nice little battle here as Chuck is kind of stalled out trying to run down Steve Loving, but now he's under fire from Mike Caustic, and Daniel Cunningham starting to fire back as well. And you see Chuck driving it hard, trying to stay ahead of Michael here. Goes down to the inside, drives it pretty deep into the corner, try to get that position on Chuck, see if he can hold it from that top line. Is able to clear him there, so move Mike Caustic up to a 4th place, up 11 spots from where he started. What the heck happened to Jason Warren? Go back a little bit on this rewind, see if we can see what happened to Jason Warren as he was up in the top 3, and I just completely missed it. Just a lot going on. We watch here. This is a few laps go. Gets a little bit loose. Oh, and knocks down the right side of his car, and that's why he is currently sitting on pit road. So just want to give you an update on that. He is currently sitting here with a lot of damage, apparently. Maybe terminal. He's been on pit road for about 6 minutes. Back at the lead, though. Garrett Kinder took the lead, and Jonah Colbert's still there, trying to keep that 13 machine in his sights.
Hey.
Well, all right, Kevin Kinder. 64 laps is the fuel. They can make it around 62 to 65, it looks like. So that's a long way on these tires. It definitely looks like they are already eating into them quite a bit. So if they go 64 laps, that's going to be a lot on these tires. But it looks like they can go 2 stops tonight if everything goes green from here on out. Oh, and I don't know about that. Is right in front of the leaders. Christopher Heiner goes sideways. We stay green as Heiner hits the wall, comes back up on the track right in front of Garrett Kinder and Jonah Colbert, and Christopher Heiner coming to pit road. Wow, that was very, very scary. Let's go back. Let's go back and see that. The Kinder Farm and Ranch wreckage rewind. Oh, yellow flag is out. It looks like, who is that? The 25 of Cameron Combs has spun out. So they were wrecking all over the place. Woo. Go back and see exactly what happened to Christopher Heiner, and then we'll go back and look and see what happened to Cameron Combs as we back this up a little bit. Driving in, we'll actually go on board with. You see Heiner right in front of him. Going to see him get loose off the corner. Garrett Kinder sees it. He spins right in front of the track and then comes back down. Very scary moment for Garrett Kinder. Heiner was just hitting the wall trying to get off the track, and then we go on board with Cameron Combs here. You can see he gets loose, trying to save it. Oh, he almost saved it a couple times, overcorrects, and then spins out. He brings out our second caution of the night. On lap 42. No doubt everybody going to come down pit road. Guys are going to need some damage fixed. Get some hammers out, knock those right sides back out. Even Mike Caustic got a little bit of stripe there. It looks like we're racing Darlington with all these Atlanta stripes, I guess we got to call them. Lots of guys with right side damage. Be a good time here, knowing you still, it's going to be close on fuel. You might can make it on one stop from here. Yeah, it looks like on fuel you could probably make it from one stop. So, yeah, you know, if you think the race may go green, you might as well go ahead and get a little bit of that damage fixed. If we go 120 some odd laps under green, you can definitely make it up with enough patience and speed. We'll see if anybody, looks like Daniel Cunningham electing to get that damage fixed. About 40 seconds at this point. So at least one driver decides to get it fixed. Well, excited to have all the series in Original Rebels be in the playoffs pretty deep. Everyone sitting at the round of end of the round of 12. Every series at the cutoff, and so tomorrow night we'll see who makes it into the round of 8 in the Outlaw Series and Rebels, both at Atlanta. And then Monday night we start round number 2 of the 87 series. Boy, I'm excited about that. Had a fantastic race at Daytona and getting ready to run Rockingham next week, which, man, that is just a blast. 87 series, probably one of my favorite series. And the fellow who won last week, man, he was just lights out at Daytona. Easily dominated that race. Definitely didn't make the pass in the last lap because of a crash. Definitely earned that win. Did not luck into it at all. But looking forward to the next race. Haven't gotten to run that series. Been broadcasting it, but this season made the decision that trying to commission a series and broadcast it can be a little bit tough. But man, those cars are just too much fun. They look too awesome. Man, I got to get out there and race. It's a good time. It's a little bit of a beer series, just sort of a. We definitely take it serious enough, but man, it's just not that big a deal. Those cars are a beast to handle. Just want to get in there and have fun, talk a little trash, make everybody laugh. It is a fun series. Follows the 1987 Winston Cup schedule this season. Every track that was on the 87 schedule except for Riverside will be on the schedule in relatively the same order. A little bit longer lengths. Tire set limits. Going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, let's talk about the Cup Series, though. Let's talk about the here and now, as Luther Vandross would say. We go back green. Garrett Kinder gets a nice jump, but Jonah gets a pretty good start, too. He's right behind him. The sequential gear shifters making it easy to get up through the gears these days. They both go right down to the bottom on new tires. We'll see if anybody's going to get a little bit loose. You see Jason Lottridge way up out of the groove. Got a little nervous there as he seemed to lose a little bit of ground on the 75. Fires back here in turn 3. Chuck able to hang on to it for now. Up front, though, Jonah Colbert looking down to the inside. It's hard to say which line is better. I've seen both lines be really good. Looks like you're going to pass. You may want to be on the outside. You may want to set the pass up with the outside. You know, aero still plays a factor even in these cars. They've got a lower spoiler. At some of these tracks, Cameron Combs goes off the track. Going through the grass, and it's going to stop into pit road and going to call it a day. So I think you want to maybe look for clean air. So if the guy in front of you is on the bottom, maybe try the top, just get the nose a little bit of air. But it seemed like you might use the top side to get a big run down the straightaway and then jump down to the bottom. I mean, if you're looking for a master class on how to pass, it's up here. These top 4 or 5, they know how to get it done. Saw Jonah get out to a pretty early lead on the last restart. Dropping hard here at the beginning. He dives down to the bottom of the 13. Probably not going to be able to complete the pass, but still trying to make it work. 13's going to get a huge run here down the straightaway. 31 actually does a pretty good job of staying close, but ducks in behind him. Going to jump up to the outside in 3 and 4. So great battle here, as guys have had a run under the belts to kind of get everything figured out. But we saw Jonah get out to an early lead. Garrett Kinder come back in the middle of that run. And then right at the end, looks like Jonah was starting to come back on the 13. So a weird pendulum effect there by these two drivers. Daniel Cunningham, after getting that damage fixed, making up a few spots. Just past Matt Clement for 9th place. Eric Burkhalter here in the 71 having a great run. Started 8th, still 8th. That car in the middle is the 111 of Jamie Mullins. A couple laps down, a few laps down at this point. He is currently in the lucky dog spot, so if a caution does come out, he will receive that lucky dog. Get himself back on the lead lap. 12 cars on the lead lap after all the issues that a couple guys have had. So if you can get yourself back on the lead lap, find yourself in a pretty good spot. Let's go back up front, check on the lead. Garrett Kinder still leads the way. Your top 4 hasn't changed all that much. Mike Caustic drops back a little bit. Not sure if he what exactly happened to him. He kind of got off the pace there for a few laps. But that allowed Chuck Phelps to get into the 4th position. He is looking down at the inside of the 27, trying to get position on Steve Loving in the Coca-Cola Zero car. Chuck runs a couple series in the next-gen car, so he definitely knows how to get around this, pretty much any track in this next-gen car. Chuck's really been focused on trying to get better here in this particular series. Oh no! Man, another save from Chuck Phelps as he, dangerously close to nosediving into that inside wall, but able to keep the car straight. Gonna drop back a little bit, broadcaster curse maybe just a little bit, but didn't lose a spot, just lost a little bit of time. Can definitely gain it back. He is still in spitting range of the leaders. Go back up front though, still a battle between the 13 and 31. 31 trying to make the bottom work, just will not work. Ratchet Miller says he's at the dirt track, just checking in on my boy 13. Looking good. That's right, man. Well, Ratchet, I hope you have fun at the dirt track. As much fun as I'm having here, I'd like to be at a dirt track myself. As we continue to watch this battle, see if they can settle it. Well, we are currently in the round of 12, and this is the cutoff race, so 8 drivers will advance. So far, Steve Mcdonald, Josh Lokovitz was on the outside looking in. Who else? William Griffith right there on the cutoff, and Aaron Adcock. Unfortunately, Steve Mcdonald, Aaron Adcock, Josh Lokovitz, all having terminal issues. Let's see if we can see them. They are on track, no, they're not. Yeah, all of them are off. So, drivers who needed a win to get in, Josh Lokovitz, Aaron Adcock, having major trouble. Steve Mcdonald was in. I don't think there's anybody who can point themselves into the round of 8. So, unfortunately for those drivers, they are in trouble. So the top 8 will transfer over, and I'll give you the top 8 one more time. Jonah Colbert, Daniel Cunningham, Garrett Kinder, Steve Loving. Jesse Necula actually missed this race, couldn't make it home in time. So it'll be interesting to see how that will change things up. He's at 21-27 going into the next round. So we'll see how that lands. So if you're Josh Lokovitz, just showing up may be a good thing for you. But you know, Josh really needed a good finish tonight. But you see Aaron Adcock and Griffith on the outside looking in. A lot of those drivers just need a win. Brandon Wallace needs to get a win. If he can steal one tonight, that would be helpful. So looks like the top 8 are pretty much locked in, unless there's a rule thing that I'm not aware of that'll change it up. But just from my eyeballs, it looks like the top 8 are pretty much solidly in, even with Steve McDonald having his trouble. But we'll see once the race is over and the official points are posted. That's when we'll know for sure. It's like Matt Clemon having some issue. He is slow on the track. Went off track for about a couple seconds and came back on. See another driver getting loose off of turn 4, man. Right into the grass. But these guys able to save it. Get that thing back rolling. These are the other 2. Brandon Wallace, William Griffith outside looking into the top 8. Doing the best they can, but man, running right here in 10th and 11th, they've got a lot of work to do if they're going to try to make it in the top 8. Brandon Wallace, definitely known for some pit strategy. And Mike can snooker them tonight. And William Griffith, known for taking 2 tires on a late race caution. So watch out for that. Definitely not one to shy away from a Hail Mary. Let's go back up front. We check on the lead. Still not much has changed. 31 trying to chase down Garrett Kinder. Just see how strong the top line is. Jonah able to get a nice little run down into one right here and gains a lot of time, but that 13 makes up a bunch right here on exit. You see the back end kind of slipping out from the 13, but never seems to be much of an issue for him. Jonathan Cofield has made his way back up towards the front. Had that early incident. Found himself behind the 8 ball, but a couple cautions later, driving his way back up through the field. And Chuck starting to fall back just a little bit as the lap car Jamie Mullins going to the inside, but right behind him is 6th place of Michael Caustic. Mullins still in that lucky dog spot. Of course, he is the only car a lap down now because everybody else has called it quits, just struggling tonight. And so he is the only car on the lead lap, or lap down, excuse me. So he will, as long as he's not involved, he will get the lucky dog no matter what. But he sure is racing hard as he is all over the side and pulls down in front of Michael Caustic. Jamie Mullins said, you know what, I'm here to race, and I've seen him multiple times say that he doesn't care if you're in the playoffs or not. I'm here to race, and I don't really care, and so I'm going to race the heck out of you, and he's even going to race you if he's a lap down. So he's up here racing these guys hard and going to get his money's worth. He says, even just because you're in the playoffs, you don't deserve anything. I like it. Not quite halfway, but about halfway through this run here, and we're starting to see everybody kind of spread out. Caustic looking to take advantage of Chuck getting passed here by the lap down car of Jamie Mullins. Caustic able to get to his bumper, but not quite able to make the pass on Chuck. Going to get a big run here through 3 and 4. Right to the back bumper, but not able to get a position just yet. Also going to put his car up into the fresh air of that top line, see if he can get a big run down the back straightaway. Getting a nice run off of 3 and 4. Chuck kind of running a lane down, so both trying to work that top side. It's Caustic all over the back end at 75. Michael going to get a nice little run, going to get the quarter panel, get the spotter call. Let's see if he can complete that pass. It's going to be a difficult turn to make that pass work. Let's see if Michael can do it. Chuck going to fight hard on the outside. It's going to have the run. And, man, just look at the top side, what it can do. As Chuck is going to hold him off for this turn. Caustic going to fight back here into 1 and 2. Drive it down to the bottom. But a side-by-side battle here on lap 75 of 167. So frustrating when you just can't make the pass. You maybe feel like you're a little bit faster. That top side with the speed difference off the corner, the guy on the top can really fight back. What Caustic has to hope for is just a little slip up here from Chuck. One little lift that Chuck has to do, getting a little bit sideways off the corner. That's really all he needs. And he can try to get that position. But so far, oh, there goes a little bit of slip there. It looks like maybe Caustic slipped just a little bit too, so hadn't been able to clear him as they go down to 3 and 4. Man, what a great side-by-side battle, man. These guys are going at it. What you love to see. You love to see in iRacing the ability for guys to run 2 different lanes and be fast and be able to race each other side by side. Historically in iRacing, it was very one line. Either the top side would be fast in the case of like Kansas and a few other tracks like Kentucky. But since an update that happened probably about a year ago now, you can make multiple lines work, and it allows really, really good side-by-side racing. And you're seeing the product of it here as Caustic able to run down Chuck, but just not able to complete the pass. And you start to see the 54 and the 48 back there starting to make their way up into the picture as these guys are really the bad part about this is you're really hurting your lap times running side-by-side, probably about 3 to 4 tenths slower this way. And that's the only negative. But if you think you're faster, you just can't ride behind somebody. You got to try to make the pass. And, man, these guys are really battling here. Neither one of them willing to give an inch as Chuck actually gets a full car out in front of him. Caustic's going to fight back here. And you see the 54 starting to creep up into the picture. It always complicates things if somebody else joins the fight. This has been lap after lap after lap of side-by-side racing. What is a 54 going to do? Is he going to have a nice little run? Actually, Caustic going to complete the pass, right? Oh, and it gets loose. Oh, no. Right as he gets the pass and clears Chuck, gets loose, and he's going to lose 2 spots out of the deal. Oh, that's got to be so frustrating after spending so much time trying to get around the 75, and then right as he gets out front, loses the back end and has to drop back behind the 54. Very, very frustrating if you're that 26 car. We're going to keep it here. This is the best battle going on all over the track. Jonah Colbert, Garrett Kinder, Steve Loving, all separated by half a second. This is the battle right here. Now Jason Lotcher is going to join the fray. 4-car battle for 5th place. Now Daniel Cunningham charged with the task of trying to make the pass on the 75 and not able to do it. Now Caustic going to get up to the outside. Here comes Cunningham coming with a strong run through 3 and 4. Chuck going to have that run off the corner and is able to clear the 54. I think these guys forgot that we got about 80-something laps left to go. Jason Lodgers gets a little tight into the corner. Kevin Kinder says there's 7 playoff on the track. All will go to round of 8. The people who are on the outside looking in are Aaron Adcock, Josh Lokovitz, Brandon Wallace, William Griffith, I believe. I don't want to say 100% if something's going to happen or not. Most of your top 5 or 6, 7 are pretty much locked in with the way points are and differentials. But 8th place could still be up for grabs if somebody gets a win or if the points work out. And Steve Mcdonald, who is currently in that 8th position, is in 18th off the track. So we'll have to see once the point tallies get all settled up who will make it. While I was talking, Daniel Cunningham able to complete the pass on the 75, and now Chuck is going to lose both 5th and 6th to Michael Caustic, who's finally able to get back around. Chuck going to look back to the inside, though. Man, Chuck is looking racy tonight. 26 should be able to make the top side work and clear Chuck. Chuck's tires may be starting to fall off just a little bit. Running that top side could be pretty tough on those tires, as the right side's getting really, really hot. Go back up front as Garrett Kinder still leading the way. Jonah Colbert dropped back to about 8/10. Seemed to be able to get to his bumper, but not really able to do anything with it. And Garrett really making that top side look easy, as he is way up in the rough stuff. But still the fastest car on the track, so it seems like clean air going to be a major important factor to whoever wins this race. And so it does definitely, I mean, you saw with Chuck there. I mean, Chuck definitely fading a little bit, but able to make that top side work as long as you can hang on to it. Makes it really difficult to pass. Well, now Daniel Cunningham having his hands full with Michael Caustic. Daniel running that lower line, so I wonder if Michael could kind of see what was happening with Chuck and maybe try to sneak up on the top side and get the run on the 54 and make that pass. You got to do it at just the right time, because if you show you're going to run the top, Daniel and most drivers will just jump up right in front of you and take the air off your front end. So he does sort of run a higher line here in 3 and 4, but Michael goes down to the bottom. And Michael going to complete this pass, looks like, as Daniel has to get up out of the gas on the high side. Been running the bottom, but jumps up to the high side, not able to get back on the throttle. Maybe had to get out of it a little bit. Michael able to take that spot, so Caustic up to 5th place now. Got Jason Raymond in chat. Good to see Jason Raymond. He runs in the Apex E-Series on Thursday nights. Had a great third place finish this week. Still have a long way to go. Over halfway now, though, as we're going to start to see pit cycle start up in the next 10 laps or so. So we're going to start seeing guys make it down pit road for the green flag stops. Get 4 tires and fuel. Gonna have to make it at least to, I said, about 64 laps. So you're gonna have to make it quite a bit further than 10 laps, maybe. At least 103, 104. So if you see anybody pit before 103, 104, they're going to be coming up short most likely. So we'll see how far they're actually able to go. We don't have a fuel meter here. We just have to watch it play out. That's part of the fun, though. So these guys running it to the bitter end and being so close to making a one more stop. You definitely won't see any short pitting. If anybody pits here and somebody actually is able to make it to lap 104, 105, you're putting yourself in a pretty big hole. So not too much short pitting able to be done. It's like Jonathan Cofield able to get to the back bumper of Steve Loving. See if he's able to make anything happen. Cofield driving deep into the corner on the tie side, going to get a huge run here. Loving going to close the door out off the corner. Cofield maybe had to get out of it just a little bit. But he is there all over the back bumper of the 27. Gets right to his bumper, trying to get him to maybe make a mistake. Go to the outside and, oh, probably help if I put it on the right guy. Leaning on Loving's bumper, going to get to the inside here. Going to have a little bit of position and going to get loose off the corner, trying to make that pass. Trying to give it just a little bit of throttle. You see the difference between the two drivers, like Michael Caustic just being as patient as he can be, and you can see Cofield really wanting to get around Steve. Two different driving styles. Not one of them is better than the other, but you just see that some folks, I'm one of the Cofield type guys. I want to get around the guy as fast as possible if I know I'm faster, because every second that you're having to lift or stay behind somebody, you lose more and more ground, especially for green flag pit stops. Here comes Cofield back at him. Going to get the run on the outside this time. I think that's going to be the preferred way of doing it. And he is going to be able to clear him into turn 3. Steve Loving probably said right at the entrance of turn 3, oh, you go ahead, and let him go on by. So move Jonathan Cofield up into the podium spot. Able to fight through some adversity, getting loose early, falling out of the top 10, and has made his way back up into the top 3. You see that car really out of shape too. Check in with this battle between Chuck and Brandon Wallace. Chuck has really falling like a rock. Definitely looks like he had used up those tires, especially with that battle with Michael Caustic. Definitely seeing a little bit of wear on that 75 as Brandon Wallace able to scoot on by him, and Chuck actually having to get out of the gas there as he gets really, really tight in the middle of the corner. So Chuck's struggling here as we're getting down to the end of this run. Gonna start seeing guys hit pit road in the next 3 laps or so, assuming that fuel can be, they can make it on fuel the rest of the way. And that will be, assuming we stay green, the last pit stop of the night. Garrett Kinder starting to pull away now as he is 2 to 3 tenths faster a lap as he is making that top side look easy. And that time a full second is, I don't know what happened to Jonah. Jonah's still running that bottom line. And Eric Burkhalter coming down pit road on lap 103. That is right on the money of 64 laps. So he comes down pit road. That'll give him the freshest tires on the track. as he comes out, tries to make a few spots. He came in running, I believe, 8th. So he'll give up that 8th position. Come down and get 4 tires. Steve Loving coming down pit road now. Oh, gets in there pretty hot. See that little puff of smoke? Definitely locked up that left front, but he comes down pit road. I'm sure these guys are begging for 4 new tires. And right now, Garrett Kinder still not coming down pit road, electing to stretch it out just a little bit longer. So we'll see. How far are you willing to stretch it? You know, if you're Garrett Kinder, you can wait. The only person who can really jump you is Jonah, so he can really wait a little bit, not too much longer. If you're, you know, watching Steve Loving, he's going to come out with some pretty fresh tires. You can wait a little bit. Jonah hits the pits. You really got to go though for the 13. And there comes Jonah Colbert in now. He's getting in real hot though, and he locks him up into the grass. Almost coming to complete stop, trying to keep the speeding penalty from getting him. Michael Caustic, Jonathan Cofield, Daniel D. Cunningham, all coming down pit road. Jason Lottridge, everybody coming in now. You can make it the rest of the way. Garrett Kinder for sure be coming in this time by. And he is slowing up out of turn 4, getting hard on the brakes. Trying to take it easy with the lead as big as he had. He can only give up time, so he just needs to hang tight, be smooth, and so far so good. As it looks like he is able to get that done. And man, hate to see this, but it looks like Jonah Colbert with a speeding penalty. Officials are calling are posting the 31 for speeding. And he'll have to sit on pit road. Saw him do that, have a same penalty in the Apex Series Thursday night. So he's sitting on pit road, running second all night long. Looks like Jonathan Cofield as well with a speeding penalty. So a couple guys caught speeding, and that's really going to change their race. Cofield fighting his way all the way back to 3rd place and gets a penalty. Jonah's still sitting on pit road. Not really sure what happened there. But definitely disappointing. Brandon Wallace, though, currently still your leader. William Griffith comes down pit road, and that leaves Brandon Wallace the last car to not have pit just yet, so I expect to see him anytime soon. And then Garrett Kinder, about 21 seconds back, will reassume the lead. And here comes Brandon Wallace now to give up the lead. And he is coming in real hot. Oh my goodness, guys are really getting surprised by this pit road and the speed. We'll see if he gets caught speeding. But turn the lead back over to Garrett Kinder in the 13. And now he's got a 6-second lead over Steve Loving. Loving pitted 3 laps earlier, so he had gotten quite a bit of, about 3 laps on fresh tires compared to Garrett. So that lead should continue. Garrett Kinder solidly in the lead, having a great race. Really putting on a clinic here at Atlanta. Of course, if you are the 31 of Jonah Colbert, you're not happy about that. Definitely never good to get speeding and basically, you know, if we go green, just going to really make it difficult to make that time up, being a couple laps down. But at the end of the day, though, he is definitely locked in to the next round. So he will hop, skip, and jump right into the round of 8. So not too big of a deal for him. Kevin Kinder says just keep it smooth, number 13. That's all he's got to do. If we have no caution, he really doesn't have any kind of worry about someone running him down. You know, not to dog anybody, but Steve Loving, Mike Caustic hasn't really shown the speed to be able to run with Garrett Kinder or Jonah. We'll see if they've got anything left in the tank, but Garrett Kinder just seems to be in a class of his own, especially if he gets out front. So it's really going to take a big, huge mistake or a caution to hurt his chances. We'll bring up the track map and show you just how spread out everybody is now that we're cycling through green flag pit stops. Currently 7 drivers on the lead lap, which is pretty wild to think about. We started with 20, and a lot of folks having trouble tonight. Brandon Wallace right in front of our leader here. He's trying to fight to stay in front of him. Brandon Wallace running the fastest laps that he's run all night long to make sure he can stay on the lead lap. And he is catching the 48 of Jason Lottridge. Imagine a crank it up camera and everybody's spread out. It's pretty wild. Not much cranking it up going on. You know, as a broadcaster and viewer, these long green flag run races can get, I don't like to say boring because there's a lot to talk about most times, but they can get strung out. There's just not a whole lot of action going on. Storylines are a few. But if you're a driver, man, you really love long green flag runs. You really get a chance to pace yourself, have a strategy, see if it works out or not. It's easily my favorite thing to have a long green flag run. Just focus on your line, make sure your lap times are good. Trying to run down somebody in front of you, trying to stay ahead of somebody. Trying to manage your tires, your fuel, all that over a long, full, full fuel run. Of course, these drivers right here, the 99 and 48, they'll have to be careful with not fighting too hard here, even though it is for 6th place. Garrett Kinder not too far behind. You see these guys crossing the start-finish line now. That green outline 99, and you see coming through the trial. Right behind them is the 13, probably about 3 to 4 seconds back. So these guys trying to stay on the lead lap. As you get side by side with each other and fighting for this position, they could easily find themselves getting gobbled up by that 13 pretty quickly. Well, while we have a little bit of time, see if Brandon Wallace can make this pass or not. But we'll kind of go through the field, talk about this race, see what everybody's at. We've got to give out a paint award. First up, we'll talk about Garrett Kinder. Started on pole, let Jonah kind of got by him a little bit there, about halfway through that first run. Was able to get the lead back and really hasn't given it up since. Has led a lot of laps and is about 8 seconds ahead of Steve Loving, having a good run. If we stay green, it's really his race to give up. As we have done our final pit stop, these tires and fuel will make it the rest of the way. Everybody pitted at least on lap 103 or longer. So really his race to give up at this point. Steve Loving running in second. Started in 6th, taking advantage of some guys in front of him having issues, but really solidly been running in 3rd, 4th all race long. And with Jonah Colbert having that speeding penalty, finds himself in 2nd place. Got a lot of work to do. Going to need a caution if he's going to do anything with Garrett Kinder. But right now he's just trying to hold off Mike Caustic, who is running him down. Speaking of Mike Caustic, we've seen him move up 12 spots. And right now he is the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award winner if the race ended right now, up 12 spots from where he started. Having a great race, super clean, great battle there with Chuck Pegleg Phelps for a while. Probably 10 to 15 laps of just side-by-side racing. But like I said earlier, one of the cleanest drivers. Really quiet, doesn't, comes in and races and leaves. But, man, I tell you what, if we can get more of Mike Caustic around here, we will be all a little bit better. Running in 4th, Daniel Cunningham, having himself a great race, too. Started 4th, currently running 4th. Thought I would see a little bit more out of him with the long green flag runs, but he's moving on in the playoffs, and so a 4th place finish. Nobody's going to be able to catch Garrett Kinder. There's no point in putting yourself in danger. And he's having a great run. Eric Burkhalter having a fantastic run, running in 5th. Started 8th. We saw him pit a little bit earlier. One of the first guys to come down pit road on 102. So you have to pay attention. If he's got enough fuel, he might have to do a little bit of saving. He's got 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds on Jason and Brandon. But solidly in 5th place. Let's just see if he can make it on fuel, if he's going to have to save a little bit. But, man, a great run out of him. Really showing a lot of speed running in the top 5. Jason Lottridge, Brandon Wallace still fighting it out here. We saw Jason get sideways a couple times. He has a little bit of right side damage, but able to stay out of the big trouble. Saw him in that little 4-way battle early on, and so having a great run in 6th place. Brandon Wallace stayed out on that long green flag run longer than anybody else, and he has freshest tires on the track. Currently trying to track down Jason Lottridge, but having a great run nonetheless. Started 10th. Currently running 7th. Oh, it's Jason Lottridge gets into the wall, and he is stuck to the wall, able to get through Brandon Wallace. Very scary moment there, as Brandon, once you're committed to the line, it's hard to get out of the way of a car into the wall, but able to do that. So move Brandon Wallace up into 6th place as Lottridge gets into the wall. And Jamie Mullins talked about him and how he was the lucky dog recipient, but it hasn't been able to get back on the lead lap. And just passed Jason Lottridge for 7th. So he is back in the hunt. Chuck Pegleg Phelps. Saw him up there battling in the top 5. But has since fallen back. So obviously just used his tires up a little bit more than maybe he had wanted to. But showing a lot of speed. If we can get a caution flag or something, he can get bunched back up. You better watch out for Chuck. Running in 10th place, Jonathan Cofield just had a whole host of problems this race so far. Was running up close to the front. Started, I'll say he started 2nd. He did outside the front row, and got a little bit loose there early on, saved it, and then got caught up in that big incident, got some damage, went in and got it fixed, drove all the way back up to 3rd place. And going down pit road, sped and had to sit and wait in pit road. And now he sits in 10th place. Gonna need a caution to get himself back in contention. Right behind him in 11th, about 21 seconds. I say right behind him, he's about 21 seconds behind 10th place Jonathan Cofield, running top 2 all race. And comes into pit road in 2nd place, gets a speeding penalty. And just the worst time to have a speeding penalty on a green flag pit stop and no caution in sight. And he finds himself in 11th place. But solidly in the playoffs, moving on to the next round. Not too worried about him. William Griffith involved in that big incident early with Josh Lukovitz. Got some front end damage. Never really was able to fix it. He's been fighting, crawling his way through this race with that damage, definitely off the pace just a little bit, but able through attrition to have a 12th place finish. Unfortunately for him, he's so far back, he's really going to need a win, so he's going to need a lot of luck to move on to the round of 8. Matt Clement in 13th. He is currently on pit road. Must have some terminal damage, some damage that just made that car not want to drive. Decided with so many guys out of the race, just come on down and get it all fixed so you can drive the thing. But he's been on pit road about 3.5 minutes. Steve Mcdonald is back on track, which is good for him. He is on the bubble, sitting in 8th place, was running in 19th with a lot of guys off track, able to get that car fixed, get back on track. Very smart move out of him to get back on track and try to gain some of those positions back. That is a huge, it's bad for everybody that's behind him. If you're Brandon Wallace or a couple drivers that are sitting in 9th, 10th, and 11th, because he's back on track, picking up spots. It's going to be harder to make up points. So really smart decision by him to get back out there knowing that he is right on the bubble. And then after that, Christopher Heiner, Cameron Combs, Greg Froenig, Jason Warren, Josh Lukovitz, and Aaron Adcock, all with early exits out of this one. Oh, somebody was in the wall. I don't know who that was. Right behind Garrett Kinder. I don't have no idea who that was. Let's go back and see who that was that got in the wall. Well, I ain't got a clue. They won't tell me who it was. I don't see it listed, so I'm not sure. Not sure somebody got in the wall, though. Trying to catch somebody with some. Anyway, let's move on. Got a battle here for 2nd place. Michael Caustic able to run down the 27, and let's see if he's got what it takes to get around him. If you speed in a section, does it matter how fast? Well, in iRacing, the speed limit that we're shown is the 5 mile an hour over. So, you know, if it shows 55 on your screen, that would be the same as being 50 in real life. So it goes ahead and shows you that 5 mile an hour cushion that you get in real life. Which basically means if they give you a 5 mile an hour cushion, that means the speed limit is no longer 50 miles an hour, but 55, because everybody's going to push it. And the way they do it in sections, so it's an average of each sector that you drive in. So if you speed early in the sector and you can slow down and get that average below 55, it won't clock you. That's why you saw Jonah, as he sped through, try to slow down to a complete stop to get that average down, but obviously didn't get slowed down before the next sector. You don't know where the sectors are. There's no way to know. That's a timing and scoring thing. Obviously, if you knew what those were, you'd be able to game it a little bit. But as far as going over, if the speed limit's 55 and you run 56, average in a sector, that is speeding, and they will tag you for that. You speed too much, you go in there and you speed, and I think it's about 10 to 15 mile an hour over the speed limit. They'll give you excessive speeding, and they'll give you quite a long time to think about that one. Michael Caustic all over the back bumper. Steve Loving. Steve not going to make it easy, though. If you're Caustic, though, you don't really have, you're not really in a hurry to make this pass, so you can be patient. You got 25 laps to go. That's plenty of time to figure out a way around him. Nobody. Daniel Cunningham about 7-8 seconds behind this group, and Garrett Kinder 13.7 in front. But a great race out of these guys. A lot of guys with some trouble, but these long green flag runs, just a couple of cautions. It's definitely the way that Griffith has set this series up. No fast repairs. Going to look to the outside, I thought, but let's jump out of it. No fast repairs and half of NASCAR's race length. So if the race is 500 miles, they run 250 miles here. So half, 50% of the race length. Real NASCAR. So long races, no fast repairs, really force people to change how they drive. Of course, it's sad to see, you know, that with the no fast repair guys get caught up in other people's messes, be out of the race like Aaron Adcock, a couple other drivers. But that's the nature of it. You know, in trying to make a series that's close to real life as possible, we're obviously not going to run 500 miles. Although there is a official iRacing series who will do that. Try to mimic the real NASCAR race as much as possible. You get in a wreck in real life, you ain't gonna get a brand new car to pull right out there. Of course, unless it's 1997 or whatever, or 96, and rain comes out because NASCAR was being stupid and they allow drivers to pull backup cars out. But in a points paying race, you do not see that. And Caustic, you can definitely tell he's got a little bit more speed than Steve Loving. Steve kind of weaving down the straightaway. Doesn't really do anything, that weaving. A lot of guys trying to break the draft a little bit, but iRacing's draft model actually goes in a 45-degree cone on the sides of the car too. So doing the weaving and stuff really just looks good on TV. Now, interestingly enough, on this car, I see the high downforce package, so that may be why it seems like it's so tough to pass here at Atlanta. Of course, I don't know why they're running that big old spoiler here. As you get close-up shots, I'm just noticing the clear spoiler. You see how it sticks up a little bit more. The Atlanta, in real life, was now a super speedway, so I understand why they run this package there. But here at this track, they definitely should be running the low downforce, high horsepower package. Definitely hurting a little bit of the racing. Peter said, better have a pickup handy for 500 miles. Yeah, no kidding. You just have to turn the heat up so you sweat it all out like the real drivers do. Caustic gets a little bit loose, falls back from Steve Loving, going to make another charge here on the 27 car. $17 laps to go in this race. This is a pretty dang good battle here. Well, I mean, name a better duo than Jack Daniels and Coke. So I guess it's only makes sense for these two drivers to be putting the best battle on the track. To the inside, trying to get a little position on the 27. Just that low line is struggling. Like I said earlier, Caustic doesn't have to rush it. He can wait for Steve to maybe make a mistake. He doesn't have to push himself into a mistake. He's got 14 laps. Oh, and Steve's going to have to get out of the gas a little bit as he's able to get beside him. Is he going to be able to clear him down to the 3? He's on the left rear quarter. It's going to be tough to make this pass. Steve is going to get right down on his right side. They are side by side coming out of turn 4. Who is going to have the run? Steve Loving on the outside, most likely. Oh, but he doesn't really. He's got a little bit, but Caustic able to keep tabs with him. Going to go down into the bottom of 1 and 2, side by side. Steve going to have to get out of the gas maybe just a little bit there. That gives Caustic the advantage, but Steve fighting hard back on the outside. Saw Caustic be able to make this pass work on Chuck Feltz. See if he can make that magic happen again as he is trying to stay as low as possible to keep that position. Actually, Steve able to clear him there into turn 1. Caustic gonna have to, ooh, he gets a little bit loose there. Gonna have to regroup a little bit. 11 laps to go. Caustic definitely better in 3 and 4. Seems to get a nasty little run through the middle of the corner. You see how he just has to get out of the gas. He wants to get on the gas, but the car will just push up the track right into Steve. So he has to be careful about that. This is great racing, though. Looks like Eric Burkhalter coming down pit road. Definitely maybe pitted a little bit too soon. Not going to have enough gas to make it all the way. Comes down pit road and gives up. Going to give up quite a few spots, unless he got into some damage that I didn't see. I don't see him hitting the wall, so must have just been a little bit short on fuel. So he'll come down, get 4 tires, try to make up a little bit of time. Maybe get a lucky caution. Oh, and he, I don't know what's going on here. Jumps out, bumps back in. He must have some required repairs and can't get back on the track. Well, that's disappointing. Let's move back up here. We missed the pass for second. Looks like Caustic was able to get around him. Let's go back and check it. We'll see the whole pass. We don't want to miss that. We've been watching for too long. Caustic on the outside. Able to get that outside position. Drives it deep into turn 1 and able to make that happen. So Michael Caustic back up to second place, man. 13 spots from where he started. Fantastic run. But Garrett Kinder, though, 8 laps to go, has a 17-second lead over second place. Man, just putting a spanking on him. This ought to be illegal. I think it's illegal in a few states to do this. Let's go on board with him and see what it looks like whenever you're just kind of chilling. See him running low in 3 and 4 and high in 1 and 2. Five laps to go for the 13. You know, you think, oh, he's got a 17-second lead. He's just taking it easy. There's no stress here. He's just, man, he's probably just a bundle of calm. But fortunately, all you're thinking about right here is every lap, man, please no caution. You're just sitting there waiting on it. You know that late race caution can happen, and you're sitting there just going, please don't wreck. Just guys, hang on to it. Don't get loose. And it happens so often where you're out here and you just know, hey, there's going to be a caution. I just got to be prepared for it. 2 laps to go, though. Excuse me, 3 laps to go. As long as that caution doesn't come out, this 13 is going to go to victory lane. But seeing it happen so many times. You always wonder who's wrecking. You just 2 laps to go and a caution comes out and you're just sitting there going, who was that? Who is it? Who is wrecking with 2 laps to go? Goes by the 12 of William Griffith, who came out of the pits not too long ago after sitting there for about 10 minutes getting some damage fixed. Well, all right, Kevin Kinder, your wish is my command. White flag is out for Garrett Kinder, so caution can't end this race. Going through turns 1 and 2, coming out with no problem. Just has 2 more turns to complete. and he has an 18.5-second lead. Nobody's going to catch him. Coming off of turn 4, and Garrett Kinder going to win in the Syndicate Cup Series and send himself into the round of 8 for sure, and sending a statement to the rest of the Cup Series playoff drivers that he is maybe the man to beat. At least one of them, that's for dang sure. Michael Caustic going to come around the line now at second place. And then, Steve Loving. Oh, he runs out of gas. Steve Loving on the last lap is out of gas. And Daniel Cunningham able to come home with a third place finish. Did not see that coming. Steve Loving runs out of gas on the last lap. And that gives that to Daniel Cunningham. So we'll jump right in. Best paint of the night is going to have to go to Jonah Colbert in that 31 race graphics. Smil Racing Design, best paint of the night, no doubt about it. That is a good looking scheme. I like it. Definitely didn't finish where he wanted to, but a winner nonetheless. Mr. Irrelevant, I don't know. I hate giving out this stupid award. Sorry, Sobolski window tinting. I wish we would have come up with something better for you. But Mr. Irrelevant, I don't know. Me, I'm pretty irrelevant, so I'm gonna win the award tonight. So I'll make myself that award winner. Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award gonna go to Michael Caustic, who finished 13 spots ahead of where he started. Man, just moving up through the field like a monster, and comes home in second place. So congratulations to him. P&J Hard Luck Award is going to go to Aaron Adcock, who just involved in that wreck. Really didn't have anything to do with him in the playoffs, and his day ended on lap 9. So P&J Hard Luck Award winner Aaron Adcock. Well, let's start these Shappy Edits. Post-race interviews. We'll start Daniel Cunningham and get these boys in the bed. Hey, Daniel, let's head in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Eddie.
Well, man, congratulations. That was a really good third place finish. Started fourth. Man, you kind of just ran there all night long. You dropped back a little bit there early on in the race, but man, just really consistent. And there at the end, able to sneak past Steve as he runs out of gas, I think, and come home with a third place. Talk about your race.
Yeah, taking lessons from my favorite driver and backed into a podium. So yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. I just didn't have my head in it. Seemed like all night tonight. I got into the wall on a straightaway on the first green flag run we had. So when we had the caution for the first pit stop, I took my optionals and got behind on track position. So never really recovered fully after that. At least not to have a shot at Kinder, but he was really fast all race. Him and Jonah both were. So yeah, up and down, but hey, at least I was able to get third out of it.
Yes, sir. Well, outside of that first little few laps, that last run was, kind of spread out, got kind of long. But man, able to come home and get that third place finish for JC Motorsport. So, really good run. You pretty much answered all my questions. You got any sponsors, shout outs, anybody like that?
Yeah, appreciate you putting on the broadcast as always. Always like going back and watching these. Thanks to everybody that puts all the work into it. Thanks to Rowdy Energy, kept me awake today because I felt like I was going to fall asleep before the race. And yeah, just had a good night. Appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
I said, well, we'll see you later. And he said, thank you. I love it. All right. Michael Caustic. These interviews are always so awkward because it's like we're playing a character. We wouldn't normally talk to each other like this, but it seems like whenever we get in these situations, we try to pretend like that's a part of the fun. Pretend like I'm pretending like I'm interviewing. He's pretending like he's a driver giving a solid interview, and so it gets funny sometimes. But let's bring in Michael Caustic. Hey, Michael, the Zeddy in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Well, man, congratulations on a second place finish. I'm really impressed with how you drove tonight. Really smart. Talked about it on the broadcast how you're one of the cleanest, smartest drivers in the field, and you really showed it. You didn't take when you didn't take any chances. The car was definitely tough to drive, but we saw you battle there with Chuck Pegleg Phelps for a good, probably it felt like 30 laps, but more like 8 to 12. But able to be patient, get that pass. Same with Steve Loving, and they're able to get second place. Man, talk about your race. What was it like out there, and how'd you get second place?
No, I was just trying to be easy on tires. It was definitely slick, especially off, trying to pass on the low side. So I was just trying to be patient and just take what I could get.
Well, you did it better than anybody else. I think had we gotten a caution there, maybe you had something there for Garrett, but he had just gotten too far ahead. But nonetheless, the Ray Cobb Hard Charger Award winner and a second place finisher. So congratulations, Mike. Got him sponsor shout outs. Anybody you want to thank?
I just thank the league for and you for doing the broadcast. Look forward to going back and watching it.
Well, no doubt about it. If you need something to put you to sleep, definitely put the broadcast on tonight. But congratulations to Michael for your second place finish, man. Awesome, awesome job. And looking forward to seeing you next week if you race.
All right, man. Thank you.
Man, I'm stuttering all get out right now, getting pretty tired. Let's get Garrett Kinder in here and talk to the winner. Garrett Eddie.
What's up, Eddie?
Come on. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, bub.
Man, I
Hold
don't
on
know.
a second. I got to take a sip from this here big Frig cup I'm sipping out of.
Come on. Well, did you notice any other cars on the track tonight?
You know, I saw some out there. I didn't know if they were different. No, I can't do that, man. It was just very fortunate how things kind of played out. I had a fast car in a long run, and we went green, so I couldn't complain about it. It was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like, you traded the lead with Jonah a few times. But once you were able to get back out front, you seemed to be the only one that really commanded the top line for any amount of time. We saw a few drivers battle guys trying to make a pass on the outside and keep, the guy passing on the low side from making the pass. But you were using the outside to lead the race. What was the difference as far as from where you were sitting? Was it clean air? Was it just the fact you were able to run as close to the wall? What was the difference you think that just allowed you to? Gosh, you won by 18 seconds tonight.
Clean air was a definite, just the OP, just hugely important. I always got worried if I was coming up on lap traffic, just because if you get within a second and a half, you start getting that wash off of them, and you really got to change your line. I don't know if you noticed it or not, but anytime I saw a lap car in front of me and they were running high, I wasn't anywhere close enough to pass them, but I started running the low line, just trying to catch up to them that way, and then maybe pass them on the inside. Just clean air was king tonight. Jonah was stupid fast tonight. So was Jason Warren. I know he made a long way up through the field before he got in his trouble. But a lot of fast guys out there tonight had some bad luck. But I think as long as I could have held everybody behind me, I think the result would have been pretty close to the same. Like I said, Jonah and Jason, I think they were both very fast too. So, man, I can't be happier than I am right now. I would love to have raced for it a little bit harder and had somebody up there to duke it out with and make it exciting for the folks at home. But man, it feels good to win any of these Cup Series races for sure.
Yeah, you as a driver, you're not worried about trying to put on a great show all the time. Sometimes if you can win by 18 seconds, that's what you need to do. So that's exactly what you did tonight. So congratulations on the win. That's definitely a statement race as we head into it. As far as the package, I noticed visually, it looks like it had the big spoiler. Did it feel like it was running like the high downforce setup?
Man, I don't know. I don't think so. I guess, yeah, kind of did, because it was still really loose on the exit of the turn too, but that's just Atlanta. I'm pretty sure you could put a 4-foot spoiler on the back of there and you'd probably still be getting loose at Atlanta on the exit of turn two. But the setup was just really tight through the middle and really loose on exit of two. Everywhere else, it felt really, really good. Yeah, probably the high downforce package probably helped. It reminded me a little bit. So we've run a few of these races now, and last season we ran the Gen 6 cars. This is probably the closest race I can recall that felt somewhat similar to those, just because of just how tight the car was.
Right.
So,
Well,
I mean, it was a good time. I tickled pink, man. Right, like I feel bad for Jonah. I guess he had some trouble getting on pit road or something, but he was fast, and me and him were duking it out up there. I had a blast racing with him on that high side.
heck yeah, man. Well, fantastic race. I mean, it's good to see a dominated performance out of you. I mean, you've really been hitting on all cylinders the last few weeks. Which peaking at the right time in the playoffs, that's the best time to do it. So all the series you've been driving in have been pretty stout. So looking to see how many championships you're gonna pick up this season. But you know the drill, man. Who you got to thank? Shout out sponsors.
Well, of course, want to thank you up in the booth. Always like to go back and watch these. This is definitely going to be one to go back and watch just to kind of maybe take some notes and see what I did right and what I did wrong. But so appreciate you for that. Got to thank Kinder Farm and Ranch be on the hood tonight. I got to give a special shout out my friend Bubba and his family back home. He just texted me earlier, said they watched the whole race, and these are some long races. 167 laps, and you're running 31 to 35-second laps. So big shout out to y'all. Love y'all to pieces. Thank y'all for watching the whole thing. It's really good to have that kind of support. Ratchet Speed Shop as well. Just have all kinds of support coming from friends and family back home, and I love it. Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot and keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Wolfpack Racing Ray Page over there. Great guy to know. Less than a month away, I'll be getting to hang out with him down at Texas Motor Speedway. So really happy about that. Get to go spend the weekend down there and watch some racing for the All-Star weekend. All my teammates over at Reaper Racing, JC Motorsports guys. I flop back and forth, it seems like, for these series, and I love racing with every one of them. Everybody in the field tonight for keeping it clean and green. For I think we had one caution,
Yeah,
two cautions, something like that.
Yeah.
Two cautions. So 167 laps, two cautions, clean and green. So shout out to the whole field tonight for sure. Picked up some new, I guess, a new team for some short track racing and a little bit of big car stuff as well, for some official open set stuff. So big shout out to Velocity Motorsports, Shock Eye Racing Performance, and Superior Performance Motorsports. It's all still pretty new over there, still kind of figuring out where I fit in that whole equation. But so far, we've had some really good runs on some short track stuff, hoping to keep it rolling, maybe start getting some big car wins on the official series as well. Also got to thank Griff, man. He keeps this thing ticking. He keeps this Cup Series up and running as well as the entire league. He's got a heck of an admin support group. Not myself, everybody that's admin included. Wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for the outstanding team we have over here and all our sponsors that sponsor this entire league. Keep the lights on for us.
That's right. Well, congratulations, man, on the win. Looking forward to the next 3 races. See what you and Jonah and maybe some couple other guys sneak up there and start challenging y'all every week. Looking forward to the next 3 races. So congratulations and go celebrate. And we'll probably be talking to you next week.
All right, Eddie. I appreciate you, man.
There you have it, guys. Good green flag runs, a really long race, but man, as a driver, I do love those. So we had some great battles, guys fighting side by side, and some green flag pit stops, some comers, some goers, guys making mistakes early on, playoff drivers getting in trouble, and we'll kind of pull up the Cup standings. I'm not sure what it'll tell us, but we'll check it in a second once it updates. And by no means is any of this official, so I just want to make that clear. But Justin Ray not here again tonight, and so that pushes him outside of the top 8. Like I said, none of this official. This is just me spitballing here at the end. But right now, it shows Brandon Wallace was able to point his way in by 5 points, with Justin Ray missing a couple races here in the playoffs, unfortunately. Um, and Steve Mcdonald actually gained a couple spots with Jesse Necula falling back to 7th place. Jesse able to miss a race and still in the top 8. So Jesse, if you're watching, if you're listening, I hate that you missed the race tonight, but it looks like you're still going to be in it. But we'll see. Like I said, none of that's official. Don't take what I say 100% until the official playoff round of 8 is posted. But right now, it looks like you're top 8: Jonah Colbert, Daniel Cunningham, Garrett Kinder, Steve Loving, Chuck Feltz, Steve McDonald, Jesse Necula, and Brandon Wallace. So congratulations to those guys if that stands. And we will talk about the results real quick, get this out of the way, and then we'll get gone, get the haulers loaded up, and we'll head on into Sunday night trucks. All right, well, there you have it. Steve Loving comes home in fourth. Brandon Wallace in fifth. Great job by Brandon Wallace. That's why he was able to get in to the race by doing the pit strategy as well as he does and gets that fifth place. So that's definitely a reason why he is in the playoffs, a round of 8. Jamie Mullins fights back to get a 6th-place finish. Chuck Phelps 7th. Jonathan Cofield 8th. Jason Lotchers 9th. Jonah Colbert 10th. Eric Burkhalter 11th, Matt Clemon 12th, William Griffith 13th, Steve Mcdonald 14th, Christopher Heiner 15th, 16th, Cameron Combs, 17th, Greg Froenig, 18th, Jason Warren, 19th, Josh Lokovitz, and 20th, Aaron Adcock. Well, great race. Really had a lot of fun. Thanks everybody in chat who was active. And we are down to 8 drivers. So excited to see how the season is going to end. A lot of really fast drivers still in the round of 8. It's going to be hard to say there's a favorite. Jonah Colbert, obviously, all season long has just been the dominant car. But here at the end, we're starting to see some drivers kind of elevate themselves. And so, one mistake by any of those drivers could be the end of their season in the next couple of races. So excited to see how that's going to play out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Next week we have Rockingham, and then we have Texas, and then we end it at Phoenix. So it's getting down to crunch time. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I am toast. My voice is about to give out. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow night on Intensity. Josh Hall will be calling the action in the Outlaw and Rebel Series at Atlanta. And then come on back to Rebel Racing Network. Oh, no, don't come back here because we won't be here. I might start streaming some of those races, my point of view. But we're actually taking a season off from broadcasting, and we're going to race a little bit. So maybe come out and race with us. But anyway, see y'all later. Y'all have a good night.